My beloved child, look at me. Do not turn your gaze away. Something big just activated in your life, and the unseen realm has taken notice. This is not the hour to drift. This is not the moment to numb your mind or surrender your attention. Fight for your soul now. Fight to stay present. Fight to stay awake. Fight to keep your heart open, because what is opening over you is not small, and the enemy would love to steal it through distraction, doubt, and delay. You finally did it. This moment has been etched into the fabric of eternity long before the stars were scattered across the velvet sky. You have arrived at the threshold of a sacred appointment that was destined for your soul from the moment of your first breath. I have watched you navigate the labyrinth of your life through shadows of doubt and valleys of exhaustion. And I want you to know your arrival here is no accident and no random click of a button. The angels in the highest heavens are standing in profound, reverent silence right now, watching you step into the sanctuary of this message, because they know the weight of the trials you have carried. Your persistence, even when your heart was heavy and your strength was failing, has sent ripples through the spiritual realm, touching the very center of my throne. You are seen. You are known. You are cherished beyond all human comprehension. You have walked through fire, yet I did not let you be consumed. You have waded through deep waters, yet I did not let you drown. And hear me clearly, when heaven begins to move, darkness will try to speak louder. It will whisper, nothing is changing. It will suggest you should quit. It will tempt you to relive old fear, old shame, old cycles. But that whisper is not truth, it is resistance. And resistance is not evidence that you are losing, it is evidence that something has shifted. So stand your ground with me. Let this be the line you do not cross backward. Let this be the moment you refuse to lose your soul to anxiety, bitterness, or hopelessness. I did not bring you here to tease you with promise. I brought you here because the appointed time has arrived. Before I reveal the magnitude of what is even now being released into your life, I invite you to join this family of light, this community of the chosen who walk by faith and not by sight. If you feel my presence stirring within your heart, press the like button and subscribe to this channel as a signal of your agreement with heaven's plan. By doing so, you are not merely engaging with a digital platform. You are anchoring your spirit among those who seek my face, declaring to the universe that you are ready to receive the divine guidance I provide daily. This is your act of faith, your step into the circle of my protection and provision, and to open the gates of heaven over your situation with boldness, declare your presence before me right now. Type "I am here, Lord," or 7007 in the comments below. Let your words be a beacon in the darkness, a testimony that the chosen one has answered the call. Do not let this moment pass in silence, for your voice is a key that turns a lock in the unseen. Your acknowledgement is not for my awareness, I already see you. It is for your spirit's alignment with what I am doing. You have lived through seasons where the silence from my throne felt deafening, where you wondered if your prayers were vanishing into the void. But I tell you today, my precious one, every tear you shed was caught in my golden vial, and every sigh of weariness was a sacred breath of endurance that reached me. Nothing was wasted, not one night, not one lonely moment, not one prayer whispered through trembling lips. You are not behind in your journey. You have been under construction. You have not been breaking. You have been becoming the vessel capable of holding the glory I am about to pour out. The world may have overlooked your effort, and those closest to you may have misunderstood your struggle. But I have seen the hidden battles you fought in the dead of night when no one else was watching. I have seen your integrity when it would have been easier to compromise. I have seen your faith when everything around you screamed that it was over. And because you did not give up, because you kept pressing forward despite the gravity of your pain, the atmosphere around your life is shifting at this very second. This sacred arrival is not just about a video you are watching. It is the intersection of your humanity and my divinity, a collision of grace that is changing the trajectory of your existence. So breathe. Stay with me. Do not rush. Fight for your soul now by staying in my presence, because what I am beginning in you, no darkness can stop, and no door I open can be closed. I have seen the nights when the world grew quiet and the weight of your burdens became too heavy to bear. I was there in the darkness when you felt the sting of hot tears pressing against your eyelids, the ones you tried so hard to blink away because you didn't want anyone to see your vulnerability. I saw you in those moments when you sat on the edge of your bed, head in your hands, wondering how much longer you could sustain this facade of strength. You have put on a brave face for the world, smiling for the cameras and laughing with your friends. But I have seen the exhaustion that lingers in your eyes when the door is closed and the lights are off. I saw you when you felt invisible, even in a crowded room, and when you reached out for support only to find empty air. Every silent cry of your heart has vibrated through the heavens, and I want you to know that not a single moment of your suffering has escaped my notice. You felt alone, but I was the whisper in the wind and the warmth in your chest that kept you from shattering completely. I saw the times you felt forgotten, as if your life was a book left on a shelf to gather dust, while others were being read and celebrated. I saw the betrayal that cut deeper than any physical wound, the moments when those you trusted turned their backs or spoke words that felt like poison to your spirit. I saw the unfairness of the situations where you were blamed for things you did not do, or where your hard work was harvested by others while you remained in the shadows. There were days when the financial pressure felt like an iron band tightening around your chest, making it hard to breathe. And you questioned why the breakthrough felt so far away. I watched you pray for doors to open, only to see them slam shut in your face, leaving you to wonder if I had forgotten my promises to you. But my child, even in the silence, I was working. Every tear that fell was a seed planted in the soil of your destiny. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. I saw the times you chose kindness and you were treated with cruelty, and how you kept your integrity when others took the easy path of deceit. Your hidden battles have been the training ground for the authority you are about to walk in. Every time you chose to forgive when it hurt, every time you chose to stay silent when you wanted to scream, you were building a spiritual muscle that the world cannot see but the enemy fears. There were times when you were so weary that your prayers became wordless groans, a simple "Lord, help me" that carried more weight than 1,000 eloquent speeches. I heard those groans. I saw the moment you almost walked away from your purpose, the moment your hand was on the door of surrender. But something, a flicker of hope, a tiny spark of faith I placed within you, made you turn back and try one more time. That courage, that quiet defiance against the darkness, is what marks you as my chosen one. I have been with you in the trenches of your mind, battling the thoughts of inadequacy and the lies that told you that you were a failure. You are not a failure. You are a survivor who is transitioning into a conqueror. The scars you carry from these silent wars are not marks of shame. They are your credentials, the proof that you have endured what would have destroyed others. I am the God who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And right now, I am placing my hands over the places where you have been hurting the most. I saw you when you thought I was silent, not realizing that my silence was a shield protecting you from things you weren't yet ready to face. Feel the heaviness lifting even as I speak these words to you. I am validating every ounce of pain you have endured. You do not have to explain your heart to me, for I am the architect of your soul. I know the architecture of your grief and the blueprint of your joy. The season of hidden battles is reaching its conclusion. I did not allow you to suffer without a purpose, and I did not allow you to walk through the fire without being right there in the flames with you. Those who laughed at your struggle will soon marvel at your restoration. Those who thought you were finished will witness your rising. You are being moved from the hidden season into the season of public manifestation. Take a deep breath and let the peace that surpasses all understanding wash over you. The battle was not against flesh and blood, and because I am for you, no weapon formed against you shall ever prosper. Your silent tears have reached my ears, and my answer is already on its way. I am turning your mourning into dancing and your sorrow into a garment of praise. Believe that what was meant to break you has only served to build you into the masterpiece I always intended you to be. My child, I feel the heaviness that has settled into your bones, a fatigue that sleep cannot touch, and that no amount of rest seems to cure. It is a weariness of the soul born from months and years of carrying burdens that were never meant to be borne alone. I see you waking up in the morning already feeling defeated before your feet even hit the floor, wondering if you have the strength to face another day of the same battles and the same lack and the same unanswered questions. You have pushed yourself beyond your limits, trying to be everything for everyone, trying to hold your world together with your own hands until your fingers are raw and your spirit is frayed. I know that your heart is heavy with the weight of expectations, the pressure to succeed, and the constant fear that you might let everyone down. This endurance you are practicing is not a light thing. It is a grueling marathon through a landscape that often feels barren and cold. But I want you to know that I am the strength in your weakness, the steady breath in your lungs, when you feel you are suffocating under the demands of your life. You feel as if you are walking in circles, don't you? You look around and see the same scenery, the same problems, and the same obstacles you thought you had surpassed a long time ago. It feels as though you are trapped in a loop of struggle, making no progress despite the immense effort you are pouring out. But I tell you, from my perspective in the heavens, you are not moving in circles. You are moving in a spiral, and with every rotation you are ascending higher and drawing closer to the heart of my glory. What feels like a repetitive desert is actually the refining fire of the wilderness, where I am stripping away everything that would hinder your flight in the season to come. The weight you feel is the gravity of the blessing that is coming. Just as a runner trains with weights on their ankles so that they can soar with effortless speed when the weights are removed, I have allowed this season of heavy endurance to build a capacity within you that you did not know you possessed. You are becoming a person of substance, a person whose character is forged in the fire of persistence. Do not mistake your weariness for failure or my absence. In the kingdom of heaven, the most profound work is often done in the moments when you feel the most powerless. When you reach the end of your own strength, that is where my grace truly begins to overflow. Every heavy step you take, every time you choose to keep moving when your mind tells you to lie down and give up, you are making a declaration in the spirit realm. You are declaring that your trust in me is greater than the circumstances surrounding you. This weight is not meant to break your back. It is meant to bend your knees, bringing you into a posture of total dependence on me. For it is in that posture that you are closest to my throne. I am not a distant king watching your struggle with indifference. I am the Father who walks beside you, placing my hand under the burden to lift the heaviest part of the load. I am the God who gives power to the faint and increases the strength of those who have no might. I am preparing you to handle the weight of the glory that is about to be revealed. If I gave you the mountain of blessing you have been asking for, Before you had developed the muscles of endurance, it would crush you. But because you have endured, because you have stayed the course, even when you felt like you were walking through wet cement, you are now ready. You have passed the test of discouragement. You have shown me that you are faithful in the long, lonely stretches of the journey. Take heart, my precious one, for the terrain is about to change. The steep incline that has demanded so much of your energy is leveling out, and soon you will see the horizon of your breakthrough. The weight you have carried has served its purpose. It has matured you, strengthened you, and aligned you with the divine timing of your destiny. Rest in me tonight, knowing that the heavy lifting is being finished by my hand. And you are about to step into a season of supernatural ease and light-hearted joy. Even in the moments of absolute silence, where you felt utterly abandoned and the shadows seemed to grow tall around you, there was a symphony of protection surrounding you that your physical eyes could not perceive. I want to lift the veil for a moment, my child, so you can understand the magnitude of the forces working on your behalf. You have often felt like a lone soldier on a forgotten battlefield. But I tell you, the hills around you are filled with chariots of fire and hosts of heaven that never sleep. Every time you walked into a room where darkness tried to swallow your peace, my angel stood at the four corners of that space, holding back the tides of despair. There have been accidents. You never had sicknesses that passed you by without a trace, and doors of destruction that were locked before you could even reach the handle. You called it luck or a narrow escape, but I call it my divine hedge. I have commanded my messengers to guard you in all your ways, to bear you up in their hands, so that you would not even strike your foot against a stone. You have never been alone, not for a single heartbeat, for my presence is the very atmosphere you breathe. Close your eyes for a second, right where you are, regardless of the noise of the world around you. Take a deep, intentional breath. Feel the air filling your lungs. That is my life force within you, a gift I renew with every pulse of your heart. As you exhale, release the tension that has gripped your shoulders and the knots that have tightened in your stomach. Can you feel it? A subtle warmth, a gentle weight of peace settling over you like a soft mantle. That is the tangible presence of the invisible support system I have stationed around you. There are legions of light specifically assigned to your name-fighting battles in the heavenly realms that you don't even know exist. When the enemy whispered that you were worthless and that your story was over, my spirit was there to counteract that lie with the truth of your royalty. When you felt you couldn't take another step, my angels were literally carrying your spirit, providing the supernatural stamina that allowed you to survive the unsurvivable. You are the focus of heaven's intense attention. Every resource of my kingdom is at your disposal because you are my heir, and I do not leave my children to fend for themselves in the wilderness. This support system is not just for your protection, but for your eventual promotion and the fulfillment of your destiny. I have placed people in your path who have felt a sudden, inexplicable urge to pray for you, even if they haven't spoken to your name in years. I have whispered your story into the hearts of influencers and decision makers, setting the stage for favor that you haven't even worked for. Even the setbacks you experienced, those moments where you felt the world was against you, were often my hand, pulling you back from a path that would have led to a dead end. I am orchestrating a divine choreography behind the scenes, aligning the right people, the right moments, and the right resources to meet you at the appointed hour. Your life is not a series of random events or chaotic accidents. It is a meticulously guided journey overseen by the one who knows the end from the beginning. The loneliness you felt was a sacred cocoon, a space where I could strengthen your inner man without the interference of the world's noise. But the cocoon is opening now, my beloved. You are about to see the outward manifestation of the help that has been operating in secret. The invisible is becoming visible, You will start to see coincidences that are too perfect to be anything but my hand. You will receive help from quarters you never expected, and resources will flow from sources you never tapped into. This is because I have issued a decree in the heavens for your reinforcement. You are backed by the power that created the universe, the same power that commanded light to shine out of darkness. There is no force in heaven or on earth that can stop the momentum of what I am doing for you. The support you have felt in your spirit is now going to translate into your physical reality. Walk with your head held high, knowing that the King of Kings is your vanguard and your rear guard. You are surrounded not by your problems, but by my promises and the heavenly host that ensures they come to pass. I have heard the echo of your heart asking the question that has kept you awake in the stillness of the night. Why, Lord? Why is it taking so long? You have seen others receive their breakthroughs while you remained in the waiting room, and you have wondered if your prayers were falling on deaf ears or if you were somehow being bypassed by my grace. But I want to let you into a divine secret. My delay is never my denial. In the kingdom of heaven, there is a rhythm and a timing that transcends human logic. When you see a delay, I see a period of sacred synchronization. I am not just working on the gift I am preparing for you. I am working on the person I am preparing the gift for. If I were to give you the harvest before the soil of your character was deep enough to hold the roots, the very blessing you prayed for would become a burden that could crush you. I love you too much to give you a miracle that you are not yet equipped to sustain. Every moment of waiting has been a moment of shielding, protecting you from the weight of a responsibility you are not yet ready to carry. Think of your life as a grand tapestry that I am weaving, where every thread must be placed with absolute precision. For your breakthrough to be perfect, I have had to move hearts that you don't even know, close doors that would have led you to sorrow, and open paths in the wilderness that did not exist a year ago. Sometimes the delay is because the person I have destined to help you is still being prepared, or the opportunity I am creating for you is still being forged in the fires of another's journey. I am the great conductor, and I am making sure that every instrument in the orchestra of your life is perfectly in tune before the crescendo begins. You see the clock ticking, but I see the eternal alignment. You see the days passing, but I see the strength growing within you. This waiting is not a prison. It is a construction site. I am building a foundation of humility, wisdom, and resilience within you, so that when the windows of heaven finally open, your joy will be full, and your testimony will be unshakable. There is a specific weight to the glory I'm about to release upon you, and real blessings require strong shoulders. If I had answered your cry 3 years ago, you might have taken the credit for yourself, or you might have squandered the resource because you lacked the maturity to manage it. But now, after the fire, after the long nights of questioning, and after the pruning of your ego, you have become a vessel of gold. You have learned that I am your only source, and that realization is more valuable than the blessing itself. My timing is not designed to frustrate you, but to favor you. I am waiting for the fullness of time, that precise intersection where your preparation meets my providence. When that moment hits, it will not be a slow crawl. It will be a sudden acceleration. What took others 20 years to achieve, I can bring to pass for you in a single day, but only because you stood your ground in the season of the mystery. Stop measuring your progress by the world's calendar. You are on a divine schedule, and the King of the universe is never late. The very thing you think you have lost because of the time that has passed is actually being compounded with interest in the heavenly realms. I am the God who redeems time, and I am going to make up for the years the locusts have eaten. You are being positioned for a suddenly that will make the years of waiting feel like a mere heartbeat. Do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you do not lose heart. The mystery of the delay is being solved in this very hour as the final pieces of the puzzle fall into place. Trust me with the when for. I have already guaranteed the what. Your season of waiting is maturing into a season of possessing, and you will soon look back and realize that my timing was the greatest mercy I ever showed you. You are not like everyone else, and that is why your journey has been so distinctively difficult, my beloved. You have often looked at those around you wondering why they seem to coast through life with such ease, while you seem to face a mountain at every turn. You have questioned why the winds of adversity blow so fiercely against your house when others seem to enjoy a perpetual calm. I want you to understand that it is because you are my chosen one. I have set a mark upon your life that the kingdom of darkness recognizes and fears. You must realize that the intensity of the resistance you face is always directly proportional to the magnitude of the destiny I have placed within you. Because your light has the potential to shatter generational chains, to heal the broken, and to bring hope to thousands, the shadows have fought desperately to dim your flame. You have been targeted not because you are weak, but because you are a massive threat to the darkness of this world. Every battle you have endured was a testament to the treasure I hid inside you, a treasure that the enemy wanted to bury before it could be shared. I have allowed the heat to rise in your life, not to burn you or consume you, but to boil away the impurities of doubt, fear, and self-reliance that would have hindered the pure flow of my power through your soul. I am the potter, and you are the clay in my skilled and loving hands. I have been kneading you, shaping you, and pressing into the softest, most vulnerable parts of your being. I know it has been painful, and I have felt every wince of your spirit. There were times you felt you were being torn apart, but I was actually breaking the hard, protective crust you built around your heart to reveal the masterpiece beneath. In the furnace of refinement, I have been watching the temperature with absolute precision, never taking my eyes off you for a second. I have never left you in the fire a second longer than was necessary to achieve the divine quality of character that your future requires. This refinement is not a punishment. It is your ultimate protection. When I lift you up to the high places I have prepared for you, you must have the internal integrity to remain there without falling. If I gave you the platform and the influence before the character was forged, the height would only make your fall more devastating. But because you have stayed in the fire, because you have yielded to my touch even when the pressure was unbearable, you are emerging with a strength that is not your own. You are being tempered like the finest steel, becoming unbreakable, unshakable, and resilient against the storms of life. Remember this truth that I have written into the very laws of the spiritual universe. Every single piece of your story, the heartbreak, the loss, the betrayal, and even the mistakes you think are irredeemable, is being woven together into a tapestry of absolute goodness. I am the master architect who can take the rubble of a ruined life and turn it into a cathedral of praise. Nothing is wasted in my kingdom. The tears you cried in the secret places of your despair are now the water for the garden of your future. The loneliness you felt in the wilderness has taught you to hear my voice with a clarity that others will never know. You are learning that I am enough, and that realization is the foundation of true power. I am using the very things that were meant to destroy you to promote you. What the enemy intended for evil, I am strategically and masterfully turning for your ultimate benefit. You are the living proof that all things work together for the good of those who love me and are called according to my purpose. This is not just a comforting thought. It is the promise that holds your life together when the world feels like it is falling apart. Your refinement is the proof of my love, for I only prune the branches that have the capacity to bear much fruit. You are coming out of this season not just better, but entirely different. The title of Chosen One is not just a label. It is a weight of responsibility and a crown of glory that you have earned in the trenches. I have stripped away the superficial and the temporary, so that the eternal and the divine can shine through you without obstruction. You no longer look like the person who entered the storm. You have a new authority in your voice, a new depth in your spirit, and a new radiance in your eyes that only comes from being in the fire with me. This refinement was your entrance exam for the next level of your destiny. You didn't just survive, you qualified. Now, as the dross has been cleared away, I can finally see my own reflection in the mirror of your soul. This is the goal of all your trials, that you would become so aligned with my will, that my thoughts become your thoughts, and my heart becomes your heart. Stand tall and breathe in the fresh air of my grace. My beloved, for the fire has finished its work. You are gold purified and ready to be displayed to a world that desperately needs to see my light through you. My child, look up and see through my eyes for a moment. You often feel as though your life is a series of random, chaotic events. But I am the master strategist sitting at the divine chessboard of your life. While you are focused on the move right in front of you, I am looking 100 moves ahead. I have been quietly repositioning people, shifting circumstances, and dismantling the traps that your enemies have laid in secret. You see a closed door, but I see a necessary redirection to prevent a checkmate. You see a loss, but I see a strategic sacrifice that clears the way for a grand victory. Every person who walked out of your life was a piece I removed because their presence was hindering your progress. Every delay was a pause I orchestrated so that the right opportunity would arrive at the exact microsecond you are ready for it. I am moving the hearts of kings and the hands of strangers on your behalf, arranging a sequence of events that will leave the world in awe of my providence. You are not being moved by chance. You are being moved by my hand. This brings me to the fear. You are hiding the fear that you are being outmaneuvered by life. I want you to rest in the knowledge that I am the King of Kings. No move made against you can succeed when I am the one guarding your soul. If you believe that I am currently moving the pieces in your favor, and if you trust the strategy I am unfolding, and then take a moment to join this family of believers. Press the like button and subscribe to this channel as a signal to the heavens that you are in total agreement with my divine plan. By doing so, you are acknowledging that you are part of a greater spiritual army, and you are ensuring that you stay connected to the daily bread of my word. This is not just a digital action. It is a spiritual alignment, a declaration that you trust the hand of the potter to shape your destiny. When you subscribe, you are telling the universe that you are ready for the next move I have planned for you. Right now, in the unseen realms, I am initiating a transfer. I am moving resources from the storehouses of the heavenlies toward your earthly account. I am putting your name on the minds of those who have the power to bless you. I am causing a divine insomnia in those who owe you a debt or who have the keys to the doors you need opened. They will not find rest until they have fulfilled the role I have assigned them in your story. You don't need to manipulate, you don't need to beg, and you certainly don't need to worry. A player on a chessboard doesn't move themselves. They trust the hand of the master. Your only job is to remain in place, to stay in the position of faith I have called you to, and to watch as the pieces fall into their perfect alignment. I am opening paths that didn't exist yesterday and creating connections that will accelerate your progress beyond your wildest imagination. The board is set, my beloved, and the victory is already guaranteed. I have seen every scheme the enemy has tried to use to corner you, and I have already provided the way of escape and the path to triumph. Do not be intimidated by the size of the obstacles or the complexity of the problems. To you, it looks like a stalemate, but to me, it is the perfect setup for a miracle. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way, and I am currently moving the final pieces into position for the most significant breakthrough of your life. Believe that even now, even as you hear these words, a phone call is being prepared, a document is being signed, and a heart is being changed to favor you. The divine chessboard is under my total control, and I am playing for your ultimate victory. Type "I believe" in the comments to signal that you are ready for my next move. You have often wondered why the same shadows seem to follow your family from one generation to the next, as if a script had been written for your life before you even arrived. I have seen the patterns of lack, the recurring cycles of addiction, the echoes of broken hearts, and the persistent spirit of not enough that has haunted your bloodline for decades. You looked at your parents and your grandparents and saw the same chains, though the faces and the years had changed. This is not a coincidence, my child. It is a generational cycle that has been seeking to claim your destiny as it claimed those who came before you. It is an ancient momentum of struggle that has tried to convince you that this is simply how things are for people like you. But I have watched you in the secret hours, and I have seen the fire in your soul that refuses to bow to these limitations. You were not born into this family by accident. You were placed there as a divine interceptor. The weight you feel is the resistance of a legacy that is fighting to survive. But it has finally met its match in the light I have deposited within your spirit. I am calling you the circuit breaker of your lineage. Every tear you have shed in this wilderness has been a solvent weakening the iron bars of the spiritual prison that held your ancestors. When you chose to forgive, when those before you chose bitterness, you broke a link in the chain. When you chose to trust me with your finances, despite the history of scarcity, you grew up seeing you fractured the very foundation of poverty. You are the one I have anointed to stand at the gateway of your family's future and declare with my authority. It ends with me. The struggle that took your father's joy and your mother's peace will not take yours. I am rewriting the spiritual code of your family tree, purging the trauma and the lack and grafting you into a vine of supernatural abundance and wholeness. You are the pivot point of history for your name, and the generations yet unborn will look back at this exact moment and call you blessed because you had the courage to outlast the storm and demand a new reality. This is why the pressure has been so intense and the attacks so personal lately. You are pushing against the momentum of centuries of spiritual baggage. It is like a ship trying to turn against a powerful current. The friction and the noise are greatest just before the direction changes. Do not be discouraged by the intensity of the battle. Be encouraged by it, for it proves that you are successfully redirecting the flow of your family's future. I am pouring out a special measure of my strength upon you to finish this work. I am giving you a new name and a new identity that is no longer defined by the failures or the limitations of the past. The bloodline of struggle is being replaced by the bloodline of favor. You are not just fighting for your own survival. You are fighting for the freedom of every child who will ever carry your name. The enemy thought he could stop the lineage through you, but he forgot that I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I have chosen you to be the one who starts the new beginning. As you stand in this gap, know that the power of my grace is far greater than any recurring pattern or old habit. I am releasing a tidal wave of restoration that will overflow into your children and your children's children. Where there was scarcity, there will be overflow. Where there was chaos, there will be a deep, abiding peace that settles over your household. You are being positioned as a pioneer of a new kingdom culture within your own house. The old ways are passing away, and I am making all things new. Take take a deep breath and feel the release of those invisible burdens that didn't even belong to you. They are falling off your shoulders, even now dissolving in the heat of my love. You are walking out of the graveyard of your family's past and into the garden of the promise. You are the light bearer, the chain breaker, and the architect of a legacy that will shine with the brilliance of my glory for eternity. It is done. The cycle is broken and the new era has begun. Can you feel the subtle tremor in the spirit realm, my beloved? The air around you is beginning to vibrate with a frequency it hasn't held in years. As you listen to these words, a profound shift is occurring in the atmosphere of your life, moving from a season of heavy, stagnant fog to a climate of divine momentum. For too long, you have lived under a low ceiling of limitation, feeling as though your prayers were bouncing back from a sky of brass. But I tell you, the heavens are opening right now. In the next 24 hours, you will notice a strange and beautiful lightness in your chest, as if a physical weight you have carried since childhood has finally been removed by my hand. This is not a psychological trick. It is the manifestation of the invisible chains of worry and anxiety snapping under the pressure of my glory. The spiritual climate of your home, your workplace, and your mind is being recalibrated to align with the frequency of my favor. In this coming 24-hour window, I am clearing the debris from your path. Those invisible blockages that made every task feel like an uphill battle are dissolving into nothingness. You will find that your thoughts are becoming sharper, your heart is becoming calmer, and the voices of doubt that used to shout in your ear have been reduced to a faint, powerless whisper. I am sending a wind from my throne to blow away the dust of the past, making room for the fresh revelation I'm about to pour into your spirit. Do not be surprised if you find yourself smiling for no reason, or if a deep, inexplicable peace settles over you in the middle of a busy day. This is the signal that the shift has begun. The spiritual resistance that has fought you so tooth and nail is being withdrawn, for the enemy recognizes that I have stepped onto the scene. The atmosphere is no longer hostile toward your dreams. It is now working in synergy with your purpose. As the sun sets and rises again, pay close attention to the small signs of my presence. You might hear a song that brings back a holy memory, or receive a message from a friend that echoes the very thoughts I am putting in your heart. These are the whispers of the shift, the breadcrumbs leading you toward the feast I have prepared. I am working in the meantime and the in-between spaces of your life. While you are sleeping tonight, my angels will be busy rearranging the details of your tomorrow. They are removing the thorns and planting the roses. They are quieting the storms and inviting the still small voice. By this time tomorrow, the weather of your soul will have completely transformed. You are moving out of the hurricane of chaos and into the eye of my peace, where everything is clear, everything is still, and everything is ready for the miraculous. This shift is the necessary precursor to the physical blessings that are about to manifest. Before the fruit appears on the branch, the sap must rise in the tree. You are feeling the rising of the sap today. I am infusing you with a new sense of expectancy, a holy confidence that tells you that the worst is behind you and the best is standing right at the door. I decree over you today that the atmosphere of lack is broken. The atmosphere of sickness is departing. And the atmosphere of divine breakthrough is now your permanent residence. Breathe it in, my child. Let it fill your lungs and your soul. The next 24 hours will mark the definitive end of the old era and the glorious dawn of the new. You are no longer fighting for victory. You are now walking from a position of victory. The shift is complete. I have seen you staring at the numbers that do not seem to add up, and I have felt the knot in your stomach as you wondered how you would provide for the tomorrow you cannot yet see. I have watched you walk past the things you needed, quietly whispering to your heart to wait a little longer, while the weight of debt and the fear of lack pressed down upon your shoulders like a heavy mantle of lead. But I am the God of the overflow, the one who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and the silver and gold that lie hidden in the earth. I am moving now to break the spirit of poverty that has tried to claim your name. I am opening the windows of heaven to pour out a blessing so great that you will not have room enough to receive it. This is not a reward for your labor alone, but a manifestation of my grace. I am restoring the years that the locusts have eaten, and the wealth that was diverted from your hands is being redirected back to you with interest from the heavenly storehouses. The doors that have been bolted shut against you, the ones you knocked on until your hands were bruised and your heart was weary, are now beginning to turn on their hinges. I am opening unexpected doors, opportunities in places you have not yet looked, and favor in the eyes of people who do not even know why they feel compelled to help you. You will not have to kick these doors down or beg for entrance. They will open by the impulse of my spirit. I am placing your name in the conversations of the influential, and I am causing your skills to shine with a brilliance that cannot be ignored. Where you have faced no for years, you are about to hear a yes that changes everything. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way, and I am currently orchestrating a divine alignment of resources that will meet your needs and fund your dreams. For I do not just want you to survive. I want you to be a river of blessing to others. Remember what I have promised in my word. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. You have been in the season of waiting, but you have now entered the season of the right time. I am the Lord who makes things happen quickly when the alignment is perfect. Do not look at the economy of the world, for you are governed by the economy of my kingdom. I am bringing about a supernatural acceleration in your finances. The seeds you sowed in tears during your leanest years are now maturing into a harvest that will surprise even you. I am providing for you in ways that defy human logic checks, in the mail debts, forgiven promotions that bypass the usual requirements, and ideas that will generate wealth while you sleep. I am doing this so that you may know that I am the Lord your provider, and that my hand is not too short to reach into your deepest need and pull you into a broad place of prosperity. Trust my timing, for I am never a second too late. The provision is not just on its way. It has already been released from my throne. You will soon see the evidence of my hand moving in your bank accounts and your business ventures. Stand in a posture of gratitude, for the drought is over and the rain of my abundance is beginning to fall. I am silencing the voice of lack and replacing it with the song of my sufficiency. Every bill will be paid, every need will be met, and you will walk in a level of financial freedom that allows you to be the hands and feet of my generosity in the world. The doors are opening, the chains are breaking, and the restoration of everything that was stolen from you is now underway. Believe it, receive it, and watch as I perform the impossible in your sight. I have walked with you through the corridors of your memories, those places where the echoes of harsh words and the silence of abandonment still linger. I have seen the fractures in your heart, the delicate places where you were handled with carelessness by those who should have protected you. I was there in the room when the betrayal cut like a knife, and I saw you try to stitch yourself back together while the world moved on as if nothing had happened. You have carried the weight of other people's shadows, feeling the coldness of their rejection and the sting of their judgment. I know the faces of those who walked away when your season turned cold, leaving you to face the winter alone. But I want you to know, my precious child, that I am the great physician, and I am leaning over you right now with the oil of my spirit to heal every jagged edge of your soul. I am mending the pieces that you thought were lost forever. and I am washing away the shame that others tried to drape over your shoulders. You are not defined by who left you or who failed to love you. You are defined by the one who will never leave you nor forsake you. There were relationships I had to remove from your life, even though the pruning felt like a death to your spirit. I saw you clinging to hands that were only pulling you down, and I saw you trying to find a home in hearts that were too small to hold the magnitude of your light. My child, I did not take them away to hurt you. I took them away to save you. Not everyone is equipped to go where I am taking you. The height of your calling requires a circle of people whose strength matches your destiny. And I could not allow toxic voices to whisper in the ears of my chosen one during this critical hour of transition. The isolation you felt was a sacred separation, a time for me to heal your dependencies and teach you that your worth is anchored in my love alone. Those who mocked your journey or misunderstood your heart will soon witness the glory I am pouring into you. They will see that the one they discarded was the very one I was polishing for my crown. I am turning the tables on your loneliness, and I am preparing a table for you in the presence of those who once sought to diminish you. As I heal your past, I am also orchestrating your future connections. I am bringing people into your life who speak the language of your soul, divine alliances, spiritual kinships, and loyal friends who will see your value without you having to explain it. I am bringing a restoration of harmony to the family bonds that were broken by misunderstanding and pride. Where there has been a famine of affection, there will be a feast of belonging. I am softening the hearts that were hardened against you, and I am giving you the wisdom to know which doors to open and which to leave closed. Your heart will no longer be a battlefield of old grievances. It will be a garden of peace, where the flowers of joy can finally bloom without being choked by the weeds of bitterness. I am healing the trauma of being misunderstood, giving you a voice that carries authority and a presence that commands respect. Take a deep breath and let go of the ghosts of those who didn't know how to love you. They were just a chapter. I am the author of the whole book, and the most beautiful parts of your story involve the people who are coming to celebrate you, not tolerate you. Believe that the healing is happening even as these words settle into your spirit. The tightness in your chest is loosening, and the walls you built for protection are being replaced by the boundaries of my peace. You do not have to be afraid of being hurt again, for I am your shield and your rear guard. I am making your heart new, filling the empty spaces with my presence and the promise of meaningful, life-giving connection. You are being released from the prison of past hurts, stepping into a sunlight where you can love and be loved with a purity you haven't felt since you were a child. The season of brokenness is over. The season of wholeness has begun. I have heard the silent cry of your heart for companionship and understanding. And my answer is manifesting in the faces of the new tribe I am leading toward you. Rest in my love, for you are cherished, you are seen, and you are finally being made whole. Listen closely, my beloved, for I am declaring a sacred 7-day window over your life, starting from this very moment. In the grand design of the universe, there are specific seasons of sowing and seasons of reaping. But there are also rare compressed moments of divine acceleration where the work of years is accomplished in days. You have entered such a portal. Over the next 7 days, the spiritual dam that has held back your blessings is beginning to crumble. You have waited with a patient endurance that has moved my heart, and now, as the sun rises and sets over this week, you will begin to see the first ripples of the tidal wave I am sending your way. This is not a time to be passive or fearful. It is a time to be alert. I am fine-tuning your spiritual ears to hear the sound of the abundance that is coming. Do not look at the clock or the calendar with anxiety, but look at them with a holy expectation. For I am the God of the suddenly, and I am about to prove my faithfulness in the most tangible ways you have ever experienced. During these next 7 days, pay attention to the coincidences that are actually fingerprints. You will receive phone calls from people you haven't spoken to in months, and they will bring news that opens a path you thought was dead. You will see messages and emails that contain the answers to questions you've been asking in the middle of the night. I am orchestrating a series of chance encounters that are nothing less than divine choreography. If you believe that I am moving heaven and earth for you in this very moment, do not stay silent. Type "I believe" in the comments to signal your alignment with this 7-day decree. By declaring your faith, you are reaching out and touching the hem of my garment, inviting the miraculous into the mundane. This is your moment of agreement, a spiritual handshake between your need and my supply. Do not let this window pass without your heart being fully anchored in the truth that I am working on your behalf. As the days of this week unfold, you will notice a strange and beautiful synchronization in your life. Obstacles that have stood in your way for years will seem to vanish without effort. I am removing the red tape that has bound your progress and silencing the critics who said it couldn't be done. Within this 7-day window, a specific financial door or career opportunity that has been stuck will suddenly shift into gear. I am bringing a clarity to your mind that will allow you to see solutions where you only saw problems before. This is the period of the early rain, the refreshing that prepares the ground for the massive harvest that follows. You have walked through the desert long enough. It is time for the springs to break forth in the wilderness. Every day of this week is a step closer to the manifestation of the promises I made to you in the secret places. By the time the 7th day arrives, you will look back and realize that the atmosphere of your life has fundamentally changed. You will not be the same person you were at the start of this message. I am increasing your capacity to receive, for the blessings I am releasing are heavy and require a spirit that is unshakable. Do not be discouraged if the first day looks like the last. Remember that I often save the best wine for the end of the feast. Keep your heart in a posture of radical gratitude, thanking me for the miracle before you even see it with your physical eyes. Your faith is the substance that gives form to the invisible, and your praise is the key that opens the final locks. This 7-day window is a gift of my love, a sign that the wait is over and the dawn has finally broken. Trust me, for I am the Lord who makes everything beautiful in its time, and your time is now. You have emerged from the storm, my beloved, but you are not the same person who entered it. The version of you that was defined by your struggles, your lack, and your silent tears has been laid to rest in the wilderness. I am stripping away the label of victim that the world and even you yourself tried to pin to your soul. You are not defined by what you went through. You are defined by what you overcame. I have given you a new identity, one that is rooted in my strength and decorated with the scars of your victory. You are a witness of the miraculous, a living testament to the fact that no darkness is deep enough to extinguish the light I have placed within you. Every trial you faced was not just a test of your endurance, but a forging of your character, refining you into a leader who can guide others through the very fires that once threatened to consume you. Your identity is no longer tied to your past. It is anchored in the glorious future I have already secured for you. You are stepping out of the shadows and into a light that reveals your true heritage as a child of the Most High, royal and redeemed. With this new identity comes a new mission, my precious one. I did not pull you out of the depths just for your own comfort, but to make you a lighthouse for those who are still drowning in the seas you just crossed. Your pain has become your platform. Your scars have become your credentials. I am calling you to be a pioneer, a voice of hope, in a world that is suffocating in despair. The wisdom you gained in the silence of your suffering is a treasure that others desperately need. I will place you in positions of influence where you can speak life into the brokenhearted and show the way to the bound. You are being sent back into the world not as a survivor, but as a conqueror with a message of restoration. Your mission is to demonstrate my power through your life, showing that when I am the foundation, nothing can be destroyed. You will lead others into their own sacred arrivals using the map of your own journey to light their path. You are no longer just a participant in your story. You are an ambassador of my kingdom, carrying the keys to doors that others thought were permanently locked. I am placing a new authority in your voice and a new weight to your words. When you speak, the atmosphere will change because you are speaking from a place of experience, not just theory. You carry the weight of glory that comes from being refined in the furnace. I have exchanged your ashes for a crown of beauty and your mourning for the oil of joy. Step into this new mission with your head held high, for you are no longer walking in the shadows of not enough. You are my hands and my feet on this earth. The world will recognize the change in you. They will see a peace that doesn't make sense and a confidence that isn't arrogant. This is the mark of the chosen one, who has found their true identity in me. Your life is no longer about just getting by. It is about building my kingdom and reflecting my light. You have been trained, you have been tested, and now you are being commissioned. You are stepping into a realm where your mere presence shifts the room, where the light in you exposes the darkness and offers a way out for those who have lost their way. This identity is your armor and your shield. As you step out, remember that you are no longer fighting for acceptance or striving for worth. You are already accepted, already worthy, and already loved with an everlasting love. The new you is a person of vision, a person who sees possibilities where others see dead ends. I am giving you the eyes to see the potential in people and situations that others have written off, just as I saw the potential in you when you were at your lowest. Your mission is to be an architect of hope, building bridges for those who feel lost. Every step you take from this day forward is a step toward the fulfillment of a destiny that is larger than yourself. You are the answer to someone else's prayer. You are the miracle that someone has been waiting for. Embrace this holy calling, for I am with you, always leading you from glory to glory. Your journey has prepared you for this moment, and the heavens are cheering as you take your place. The old has passed away. Behold, I have made you new. My beloved child, the time for questioning and the time for waiting have reached their divine conclusion. I stand before you, not just as your father, but as the almighty architect of the universe, and I issue a final decree over your life. Heaven has moved, the angels have been dispatched, and the verdict has been handed down from the highest court of all. The struggle is over. I am speaking into the voids of your life and commanding light to appear where there was only darkness. I am speaking to the dry bones of your dreams and commanding them to breathe and live again. What I have written in the book of your life cannot be erased by any human hand, and what I have opened, no man or demon can shut. You have passed every test of endurance and every fire of refinement, and now the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. It is not a matter of if or maybe. It is a matter of it is finished. The chains that bound your ancestors and the weight that slowed your steps are now officially dissolved. I have signed your liberation with my own hand, and the decree of your victory is now echoing through every corner of the spiritual and physical realms. I am placing my heavenly seal upon this hour and upon every word I have whispered into your soul this day. This is the moment where the spiritual promise becomes a physical reality. I want you to understand the absolute finality of my word. When I say it is done, the entire universe must shift to accommodate that truth. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every voice that rises against you in judgment is being silenced right now by the roar of my authority. The enemy may try to whisper doubts to steal your peace, but he is a liar. His power over your destiny has been revoked. I have established you on the rock, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against the glory I am manifesting through you. Your restoration is not a negotiation. It is a divine mandate. The provision you need, the healing you crave, and the breakthrough you have wept for are now locked into your timeline. You are stepping into a season of suddenlies because I have declared it so from my eternal throne. Feel the weight of this truth. What I have started in you, I am now bringing to a glorious completion. Now, my chosen one, do not let this word simply float by you. It is time for you to take your place and act in accordance with this divine decree. I want you to seal this prophecy in your life right now. Do not stay silent in the face of such a magnificent promise. To lock this blessing into your reality type, I receive my breakthrough now or 888 in the comments. This is your act of final agreement, the spiritual stamp on the document of your destiny. By declaring it, you are aligning your earthly reality with a heavenly decree. This blessing is yours, and it cannot be stolen, delayed, or diminished. Feel the power of my "it is done" resonating within your spirit. The old era has passed. The sentence of lack has been overturned, and the path is clear. Walk forward with the confidence of one who is backed by the King of Kings. Your life is now under the seal of my total favor, and the evidence of my word will be seen by all. Look at the horizon of your soul, my beloved child, for the first light of the new dawn is finally breaking through the heavy canopy of your long night. The shadows that once loomed so large, the fears that felt like iron bars, and the cold, biting loneliness of the wilderness are all dissolving in the radiant warmth of my rising glory. You have endured the deepest darkness, and you have survived the most ferocious storms, and now you stand at the threshold of a day that has no end. This is not just a passing change in the weather. It is a fundamental transformation of your entire existence. The atmosphere of your life is now filled with the sweet fragrance of my grace and the undeniable brilliance of my favor. I want you to walk out into the world today with your head held high, shoulders back, and a heart full of courage, not because of your own strength, but because of my power flowing through you. The new dawn has arrived, and it brings with it a divine rhythm of peace that will never falter. Every step you take from this moment forward is on holy ground, meticulously prepared by my hand and illuminated by my eternal love. You are no longer a wanderer in the desert. You are a conqueror in the land of promise. You are now a beacon of the light, and you carry the radiance of this new dawn into every room you enter and every life you touch. The people you encounter will stop and marvel at the change in your countenance. They will wonder at the supernatural peace that rests upon your brow and the joy that flows from your spirit like a life-giving river. Do not ever look back at the ruins of your yesterday with regret, for those broken pieces have no authority over your today. I have made all things new, and the old has been washed away by the tide of my mercy. Your financial struggles, your emotional wounds, and your spiritual fatigue have all been swallowed up by the absolute victory of my decree. This is your appointed time to bloom, to thrive, and to lead with a wisdom that was forged in the fire. You are no longer searching for the way. You are walking in the way, and my spirit is the steady compass of your heart. Embrace the high mission I have entrusted to you, and remember that I am the breath in your lungs and the strength in your bones. The world is desperately waiting for the hope you carry, and I have positioned you as a lighthouse to guide others to the shore of my grace. As we draw this sacred appointment to a close, I invite you to anchor yourself in this family of the chosen ones. Take this moment to press the like button and subscribe to this channel as your final act of faith and commitment to this journey. By doing so, you are signaling to the heavens that you are ready to receive the daily bread of my word and stay connected to the light that has rescued you. Let this community be the fertile ground where your destiny is nurtured and your spirit finds rest among those who walk the same path. You are part of a global movement of souls rising out of the ashes, a royal priesthood destined for greatness. I bless you now with a peace that surpasses all human understanding, a divine provision that knows no lack, and a joy that will forever be your strength. Go forth with the certainty that the King of Kings is your constant companion. The night is over, the promise is fulfilled, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you with power and majesty. It is done, it is sealed, and it is yours for all eternity. Amen.